So hey, welcome to the Liberal Buzz Show. I'm your host Denise Dory. I'm happy to be here, and I've been hearing a lot of things about immigration raids, and so I've been also noticing that these posters are being torn down a lot. They were on almost every they were on every block, and they were just being torn down practically all in one night. So I found some that weren't torn up and thought that maybe somebody needs to hear about this because there's somebody not wanting people to know about it. So this is why I'm doing this show. And I went to the San Francisco SFD-CCC meeting last night with David Campos was there. So these are the posters up close so you can see them, and I'll take this away so you can maybe get some of the contact information. Can you read that? It's at the bottom. Here, just put it a little higher. Okay, so that's about as good as it's going to get. So there's contact information, there's solidarity, and a community meeting, and then there's dates. So the next one's going to be March 6, 2018, and March 20th at the 145 Taylor. That's near Eddy Street, between Eddy and Turk. So David Campos had a good post. I got to try and find it. I was going to read it to you because it's very good. But he was basically saying that ICE is tricking people into not going to court, not going to their court date by waiting outside of the courthouse for them to attend court, and then they'll miss their hearing. So they're using a lot of bully tactics. So I'm going to show these posters because people are mad about them. So I think that might be something to show them. And okay, so if you can't read the number, it's 415-358-3955 or 674-6019. And there's also a website, and it's right here. sfilen.org. So we, for 10 years now, the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, has worked to keep its internal handbook. See, it's got an internal handbook out of American courts. And the reason for that, the ICE is sneaky. They're sneaky. And that's an understatement. They've got this handbook, and it got published by the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. And because it was kept away from American courts for a reason. And they're also trying to isolate all the cases and just keep it with the ICE people rather than have keep the federal court out of it. So there's a 20 pages out of their handbook, and they could be used because, see, what they're doing is they want to denaturalize folks, and that nobody's really talking about denaturalization cases either, and they're in conflict with to federal laws governing the process. So, the handbook was just published day before yesterday. So, and it shows the priority for ICE's investigative division. It's called the it's called the HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, and its denaturalization proceedings. I guess their aim is to use the most efficient means possible, to stack the process. They'll find some little piddly thing to put you in jail. Oh, you ran a red light. Well, then you didn't pay the fine or whatever it was. You didn't have your ID on you. You didn't have insurance when you were driving. You got in a fight or in a bar. Anything, it's just really little things that, so they're even deporting people with minor crimes in Northern California. There was just a raid the other day. So they announced it they started raiding, I guess, Sunday. And they're going to The ICE and are going to employers too. So uh, now they want to stack the process to strip the citizenship from naturalized citizens, and they want to do it fast, and they do it by reverting them to being visa holders. Now I can say this, I've been through the immigration process myself because I wanted to get the hell out of America, you know, more than once. And so it's not easy, especially if you have a cannabis charge, which I did. I've had a cannabis charge since I was 11 days after I turned 18, and it wasn't even my weed, so God, I didn't even get to smoke it either. So anyway. So, and don't get busted with any weed. I don't know. They might call it legal in California, but not if you're they're going to start really cracking down on every little thing they can, you know. And so be careful. And so Canadians and British people, of course, they're not being targeted as much with denaturalization. They'd have to do a lot to even be harassed. So let me get rid of this so you can see. Yeah, so now if you get pulled over and you're stopped, you know, it's like there's like two kinds of forms of denaturalization, and one of them's criminal and the other one's civil. And you know, oh yeah, and probably asset forfeitures might be involved as well. So, and CBS, you know, Channel 5 and around here is reported in February, federal immigration agents served Northern California businesses with these 3-day notices demanding proof that their employees, you know, are working legally, quote unquote. And so, well, it seems like, you know, Trump's mad because California did not vote for him, and we're a sanctuary state. Well, we have a lot of sanctuary cities in California. There's haters, there's pockets of haters. Yeah, I'm sure there are. And yeah, we didn't vote for President Trump, and he wants to make an example of us and declare war on immigrants. They probably didn't vote for him. So the haters only voted for Trump, or you have to be an ignorant or a hater, I guess, to vote. Anyway, I can't get off into the weeds about that, but you know, the things we have to realize here is all immigrants are protected by the Constitution. Constitution. Yeah, and so that protecting against ICE raids takes planning. You have to plan all these things. Make a list. You know, you have to have your immigration attorney, and don't use a notario. Notarios can even scam you, and they don't. You know, just get a real attorney, and I'm sure you could go to Centro del Pueblo or somewhere like that could tell you how to do. If you have a criminal record, you should definitely lawyer up these days. You know, whether or not they're on you about whether or not you're nervous about the police, you should lawyer up. So, if you have a criminal record, especially. And of course, you got to keep all your important documents, you know, in a file with your ID, birth certificates, and all that, and your registration number. Find someone to take care of your family, you know, and especially if the parent or guardian's deported. God, this is... And get a power of attorney who has legal status as well. That's something I wish I'd done. And memorize your phone numbers. You might get separated from your phone. It helps to memorize those numbers or write them down on a slip of paper. And you might not even keep that either. So, and you got to save money. You don't spend a lot of money you save money for legal fees, bonds. Yeah, and don't open your door. Use a peephole, because ICE can only enter if they have your correct name and your address signed by a judge, not an immigration official. And if the warrant's valid, you know, you'll find out if you have them slide it under the door. So if it's not signed by a judge, you don't even open the door. You know, they might, if they force entry, you know, take videos. In fact, you should be taking videos the minute they knock on the door. Take videos and have a big chip in your camera with a lot of memory, so you can take those videos of them. And don't sign any papers till your lawyer gets there. Oh, that's a horrible idea. And they might even claim, if they force entry, they might even claim you let them in. So that's what I'm saying. Always have a camera, a phone with a good camera, and take videos and notes. You know, don't sign the papers. You got to record the incident and get the officer's badge and everything about them. You know, the badge number, the agency, their full name, and everything that happened. And sometimes you might be able to talk your way out of it if you tell them you have children and family. It may keep you from being detained, but don't count on it. And don't even mention your friends' kids. You know, it might not help either. So, you know, they can arrest you in public only if they have a warrant with your name on it or evidence you're a non-citizen. So just stay really calm, you know, don't get upset or cry, it doesn't help. And ask if you're free to go. That's the first thing. Don't run. That's the first thing. Don't run. Just ask if you're free to go. But if they do arrest you, you know, ask to call your lawyer. It's good to have a cell phone. Always have a cell phone. And tell them you're remaining silent and refusing a search. And that's all you have to tell them. And I carry a card in my wallet that I hand them that says I wish to remain silent and I want my attorney. So that's a good thing to have a card in your wallet as well, to hand them, so you don't have to even say anything. And the same rules apply at your workplace, you know, with your boss. Your boss doesn't have to let them in unless they have. You know, you make a plan with your coworkers though that everyone agrees to stay calm, don't run away. You know, just don't talk, don't give up any information. And the employers don't have to let anyone in, you know, if they don't have a search warrant or an arrest warrant. And the same goes for the schools, you know. Kids and don't drive without legal documents like license and, you know, registration, proof of insurance. Everybody should have those. That's why immigrants are usually likely to have those things. So, you know, I've driven without insurance. I'm not proud of it, but whatever. So, and if they ask to search your vehicle, tell them, you know, you refuse to consent to a search of your vehicle because that's unless they can see it. If it's in plain sight, it's fair game. But if, you know, like the trick they used to play on me was, we want to look in your if the ashtray was open and they saw something in there, they could search the car. So keep the ashtray closed, you know, anyway. And you don't even have to, if the police have probable cause to, you know, to search the car, you know, if you refuse to consent and they have probable cause anyway, ask to call an attorney, you know, and they can search it. So you don't have to tell them where you were born, how you entered the United States. You can leave your foreign passport at home. It's better. Don't take it everywhere. Leave it in that folder we told you to keep. So, you know, those can be used against you in deportation process, you know, if taken to the police station in some places. So, you have a right to call a lawyer, you know. You do, if they do take you to the station, you know, you do have a right to call a lawyer, you know, and show them your ID. Cooperate with everything. I'm serious. And don't sign any papers. Again, don't sign papers without a lawyer there. You know, your lawyer will advise you. And I've seen people, I live in the Tenderloin, I've seen people waiting with the cops for lawyers to get there, and they do wait for the lawyers. So, also, there's some more scary things. Let's get to this. ICE arrested more than 150 people in the San Francisco area, targeting those who violated immigration laws. So, San Francisco developed a rapid response network, and it's that address here. It's this address, sfilen.org. And so, anyway, now, MOBA Stealth, that's a program that the military, the FBI, and ICE are customers of. It's stalkerware for surveillance. You can use it to spy on your boyfriend to see if he's cheating, or girlfriend to see if they're cheating. And it's smartphone malware that can intercept Facebook messages, track GPS, remotely activate a device's microphone, or park a stingray to pick up your phone signal and mimic your tower. And I did a show about that a few weeks ago. Anyway, I did this show in honor of Immigrants Month, and we're because Irish, my family were Irish, and they came to this country so they could eat. You know, that's pretty much, the English were starving us. We grew a lot of nice food, but we couldn't eat it. So we came here so we could eat, and yeah. So know your rights with the cops, and anything you say to the police can be used against you, So remember that. Anything you say to them can be used against you. Also, whatever the cops ask you, I'm going to remain silent. You want to see a lawyer, don't wait for them to read you your rights. Just don't. Because they won't. They're legally allowed to lie, and they're trained to be manipulative. Just say, I'm going to remain silent. They can try to manipulate all sorts of things. So anytime the police try to search you, say you just don't consent, and you keep your hands in view, don't make any sudden movements, I know that's not enough. That's not enough to keep some people from being killed. So, I know. And don't touch the police or their equipment. I did that once and got me an assault charge, but there were witnesses, and there were school teachers. So, well, the police beat me down and had their knee on my neck, and people were witnessed it. So if you get beaten up, you can get charged with assaulting an officer, even though you didn't hit them. They did all the hitting, but you can get charged with assaulting them, just because you. This is what I did. I had a cop from one city grabbing one arm and a cop from another city grabbing the other arm. I just went, wait, you're both telling me to do two different things, and that was enough to get me an assault charge. So, yeah. So take notes, write down their ID, physical descriptions, and get their names, and get witnesses too. Get witnesses' names, and get as many people as you can to witness what happened. So, I hope it goes well. I'm really sorry if anything happens to anybody that's awful, and I would like you to watch Psychic Frank's show. It's on March 8th at 5 o'clock. His show's called Psychic Frank's Mystery School. It's quite nice. I enjoy it. It's replays there Saturday night at 7:30, and we also have the end of the month dinner. We had with Shona and Axis of Love. So we'll be talking about that the next show. The next show we'll be talking about Axis of Love. She'll be on the next, my call-in guest, Shona Gokenauer of and she's got a lot of people's back. She does a lot of good work. And also, please adopt a shelter pet and buy a street sheet. These are great. Good writing. Good journalism there. And thanks very much for watching.
time today.